Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here on Redmen TV on YouTube. The transfer window has got less than a week left. Liverpool are in the midst of one of the weakest starts to a season of all time and in the depths of an injury crisis, in addition to the overriding feeling that Liverpool could really do with adding one more body in midfield regardless. I spoke to Neil Jones from goal.com to get his insight into all the latest transfer links and a closer insight into Liverpool's overall stance when it comes to transfers in the midfield. Reports in Ecuador have linked Liverpool with a move for Brighton's Moises Caicedo, and Dave Maddox also named him as a potential target. Dave Maddox all over it at the moment. Ed, anything on this?
No, he's flavour of the month, isn't he? Not Dave Maddox. Moises Caicedo.
Not that he's not.
Yeah, no, he's always flavour of the month with me. I mean, I know so United were linked with him. That did feel like a classic sort of. Who's that fella who was boss against us the other week? You know, he looks a good player. Is he 20? I think. You know, Brighton seem to be the sort of the new Southampton in the sense of aren't they getting an awful lot right with the way that they're planning their succession plans and selling players and making good money and becoming a bit of a destination for the player before he makes the jump to a big club. No, I haven't. It's a sort of a, if you want to call it a join the dots link, it's a bit obvious one where you're saying, well, Liverpool are looking for if Liverpool need a young midfielder, someone who's playing well and got a bit of Premier League experience. I haven't heard that Liverpool are anything other than admiring his form at Brighton, which we all are.
He was referenced. I can't remember whether it was on the Athletic podcast or whether it was on Totally Football last week, because obviously with the United links, and it was a bit. I think United had turned down the opportunity to sign him previously because they weren't sure on him or whatever. And now the joke is they could have had him for a handful of million, and if you want him now, you're talking 40, 50 million.
That's probably another point worth making, isn't it? Is they've just sold Marc Cucurella for 50+ million. Suggests that they don't need to sell. If their model is sort of
one a season.
I mean, I know Basuma went. I think that was sort of probably a delayed sale, if you like. It looked more likely that he was going to go last summer. I can even add that onto it. But if they've made that kind of money back already, I think Mopé's another one who might be on the way out for good money, considering he's not, he's obviously not their guy at the moment. I think there's Ben White obviously went last summer. They don't look like they're in. You could look at that and say, well, they always do sell. But I think you'd also look and say, well, why would they sell it now? I'm guessing they let Basuma go on the proviso that he steps into the breach and becomes that. So yeah, I'd be surprised if Brighton sold, but a lot of money can turn a club like Brighton's head.
Absolutely. Just for the phrasing on all this, Anfield Edition have tweeted Liverpool closing in a Moises Caicedo deal, meeting in the morning with verbal agreements in place between Liverpool and Brighton, just waiting to sign. €45 million plus €5 million add-on fees. That comes from Gian Molestina, who, just let's follow this through just to check, is Jose Alberto Molestina a periodista deportivo Guayaquileño. I've nailed that. He's got 115,000 followers on Twitter. So
he has now, yeah. I bet he didn't have them yesterday. Well, is this morning?
This was actually saying that this was tweeted on the 19th of August, so that was 6 days ago. So right. Yeah, we've had a little while for that to.
I'm not dismissing Jose. Is it Jose? Juan? Sorry. I'm not dismissing him in the slightest. But there's an awful lot of it flying around the moment. I mean,
this is where we're at.
I had Frankie de Jong on Goals transfer blog this morning, and having to sort of tell them check where you've put that from, because if you do, you don't have to scratch too deep to find out that that's an absolute wind up.
Let's cover that actually, because we had a question come in from Quadbod on the Discord. He says Liverpool, and it's got a clip that he's taken here saying Liverpool have made an offer to Barcelona for 25-year-old Dutch midfielder Frankie de Jong, according to Football Total via Forbes. That well-trodden transfer news path.
It comes from Talk of the Cop, I think is the source, isn't it? And which I'm not going to get into that argument, but the point has been made to Goal this morning that don't do that again. basically, because that just makes us look very silly. I don't think Liverpool are going to sign Frankie de Jong. I mean, there's every midfield in the world is suddenly, is fair game, isn't it? I think Jacob Ramsey was one we saw last week, and Caicedo we've seen. I think, did I see Leandro Paredes maybe, or Barella, I guess, thrown in.
Yeah, I was going to say everyone that Klopp's ever mentioned in a press conference.
But I think Barella is sort of at least of that ilk where you go, well, if Liverpool were going to, if we're talking about game changing signings or sort of short term and long term solutions, I think at least someone like Barella, obviously Bellingham, those kind of players, at least they do fit the bill. Whereas a lot of them you're looking at and saying, like Sander Berge, for example, really, I don't see it. But I think the big, I mean, there's a press conference tomorrow, 1:30 tomorrow. We know what the agenda will be, really. It'll be injuries and transfers. I'll be interested to see what he drops this week in terms of, is there a change in tone? Because I've not heard anything to suggest there has been, but I just wonder how circumstances have to get before there is a change in it. And we've seen it with Diaz that, an opportunity emerges late in the window and it changes. We've seen with Kabak and Davis that at some point it does get to the stage where it's like, look, I know we said it, I know we really don't want to do this, but we probably do have to. Does it get to that stage with midfielders? My instinct would say no, but I will be interested. I mean, there's still it's the 25th today. There's still 6-7 days left of the window.
Well, this time next week, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, next Thursday I think is when it's short.
Take that day off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll be interested. But I can't give anything on a Caicedo, as in. I mean, I'm guessing that meeting in the morning didn't go particularly well. It was the 19th.
Well, just in terms of a couple of the things, because you mentioned those names, and obviously you kind of talked around the circumstances that might trigger Liverpool into something. I suppose it's what are Liverpool looking for if there's to do something? Because I can appreciate that there's some no-brainer transfers there, no matter the cost. Jude Bellingham's one of them, where you go, well, you know what you're getting. You're getting absolute quality there, so you pay a premium because you're getting brilliance. But there's also another end of the market, but you could probably pick someone up who's he's going to be a body, he's going to be a capable body, and he's not going to depreciate in value for having spent a season at Liverpool. And that's what I mean. There's the two types of transfers that Liverpool might be looking at if they were to do anything this week.
Yeah, but I mean, so I'll give you the name for that. So Youri Tielemans would be probably a good name. I think he's last year of his contract and good player. But the argument then is, does Youri, let's say Liverpool's blue sky thinking is that they'll all be fine. They're out for a few weeks. They'll all be fine by the end of September and they're all fit. Does Youri Tielemans go into Liverpool's team? No, doesn't start for Liverpool for me. He's going to be on big wages. What if Youri Tielemans gets injured? What if you're in a position where Thiago stays fit? You've got Liverpool have to offset that risk. Is he someone that you can count on for 2-3 years? No. Is he someone you can spin? Maybe you can say, okay, just do us a job for a year and then we'll sell you for a bit Ben Davies-y if you want. I mean, he didn't even do Liverpool a job for a year, but. There's that. I don't think Liverpool really would think that way personally. I think it has to be someone who straight away is in the mix to, right, you've got a chance of starting pretty much any game. You might not start every game, but you're in the thoughts to do it, and I think that's what it'll have to be in terms of the midfield. I don't think it's a case of just let's get someone in on loan and just have, like you say, have a body. I think Jürgen would be. I mean that's sort of what Milner is, isn't it? And people don't want that.
And the younger players, I guess, as well.
Yeah, so I think it has to be someone who the club are utterly convinced is a Liverpool player and is potentially a Liverpool, not to say first name on the team sheet, but in that mix of playing every game. So I think I personally think they should have bought a midfielder. And I don't think they should have bought an additional midfielder. I think they should have given up on one or two of the others. Maybe, well, certainly Ox and probably Keita. I think they should have. I think that's what they should have done. They should have said, no, you know what, these guys aren't reliable. We're going to change them for whoever. They didn't. Now they've got them. I don't think they're going to get rid of either of them. I find it difficult to see that they're going to get exactly what they want whilst keeping those two players as well. So it could be bad news, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I suppose that, again, to the point on that, you're looking to replace Oxlade-Chamberlain, say, but how do you replace someone who's ninth? Well, but even when he's there, how do you replace an 8th choice midfielder? Because if you're trying to buy someone, you've got to tell, well, you want to come in and be Liverpool's 8th choice midfielder, so you need to get someone who's better than that. And how many footballers were good enough? There's the law of Liverpool, and look, Man City do this all the time, and Chelsea do this all the time. There's a slew of English midfielders who've gone to Chelsea over the years who were Premier League standard but weren't Chelsea standard, but go in and...
Conor Gallagher's there now. Look, it looks... There's a lot of rumours, because he's someone that I think a lot of people probably would have looked at the end of last season and say, Liverpool would take Conor Gallagher, but Chelsea have got him.
Yeah.
They own him, and it doesn't look like they fancy him. Billy Gilmour is there, Ruben Loftus-Cheek's playing right wing back, It does feel, you're right, that there's a lot of midfielders, but there's a lot of clubs that don't, look at City's options in midfield. They're not overrun with them at all. They
look like they've got loads until you remember that at least 2 of them are regulars in the front 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, it doesn't stand out because I don't think people look at them the same, but also they have a style about them as well. But I think if you look at City's bench quite a lot this season, you go, there's only 3 subs you're really going to make that. I mean, I think did he make 1 on Sunday, Guardiola? I think. I know it was a bit of a wild game, but they're not. You're not looking at City's bench and going, I mean, look at the. You look at 2 or 3 of the players and say, oh yeah, they've got Calvin Phillips on the bench and you've got one of Mahrez or Foden. But beyond that, you look and saying, well, I don't really know him. He's a bit unproven. It's a similar thing, but at the moment, City's first team is producing it and is doing it, and it's removing that need. So, they're not the only team with problems. I had to remind someone this the other day when he was saying, everyone's getting away. Someone said everyone's getting away from us. I said, well, hang on. I said, just let you know, Chelsea got absolutely stuffed on Sunday. I think they're 4 points from the game. City are 5 points better up, but could easily have lost on Sunday. United, we saw, getting battered at Brentford. I think they've got a tough one on the weekend at Southampton, who seems to have got a good result. You've got Arsenal in a good mood, but Arsenal are capable of Arsenal. Yeah. And you've got Tottenham, who are looking decent, but I saw them at Chelsea and they were second best. They were rubbish against Wolves and got a 1-0. So, it's not. I'm not looking at the rest and saying, oh my God, like this season's over. I'm seeing it maybe getting closer than I thought it would at the start, but I don't think, Liverpool got 3 of the next 4 in the league at home. Plenty of chances to pick things back up.
I suppose the only other thing on this, none of this will sate the need for a midfielder for people, of course. And I think, as you said, I think all of us would just be so much more relaxed with the idea of just a name you'd heard of. You know what I mean? Just someone you know's a capable footballer coming into the football club. That doesn't necessarily need to be an absolute world.
Yeah, I do think there's a people say it sometimes, the place needs a lift. They say, but I think Diaz is a very good example of, he gave the place a lift in it, and you could say Liverpool didn't need Diaz in the sense of, it wasn't a case of like, I didn't expect him to come in and just start, be a regular starter straight away, but he did. He did that, but I wasn't. You were looking at it. It was AFCON, wasn't it, at the time, and people saying, "Oh, we haven't got Salah and Mane," and then all of a sudden Diaz comes in, and he did give the place a lift. Would a new midfielder do that? I think he probably would, but
provided he's got the skills.
But also I think just Thiago coming back would do that as well, probably, and all of them coming back. So there's plenty to. There's plenty to worry about at the moment, and a lot of people are doing a lot of worrying, which is sort of the job of a fan. But I don't think we should write Liverpool off at this stage. I think we give them all the criticism that they deserve for performances and ask questions about form and policy and whatever. But don't forget, that in March, when everyone was fit, we were talking about, is this the greatest Liverpool squad we've ever seen? I know they've lost a couple of players since, but they have bought. We just haven't had the chance to see them, enough of them, the players they've bought. I think they've started one Premier League game between them, the 3 that they bought. One of them hasn't even trained with the team. and Fabio Carvalho's looked pretty good in his sub appearances.
Yeah.
I would start him against Bournemouth, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Just actually, I meant to pick your brain on this and totally forgot, but it does tie in a little bit. What did you make of the Jurgen Klopp comments from the embargoed section of the presser last week when he talked? He talked about how it's not up to him, and he doesn't choose the budgets and all this kind of stuff. Because it felt very much like if you read the words, it could only be read one way. If you watched or heard him, I think you could interpret it more towards him just being like, it's Jurgen being Jurgen, going, it's fine. Like, it is what it is. But when you consider the fact that Liverpool don't ever seem to go above and beyond, they're never far from break even when it comes to transfers, it could easily be read into him saying like, I would like us to be more, or I don't know.
I thought the key quote, I mean, I wasn't obviously at the press cons, I was in Edinburgh, but I saw them because I got sent the embargo quotes and you're reading it and you're thinking it was a bit rambly, the transcript, and it was a bit rambly, that's what he said. But I thought the key bit was he said, you can say that's why we're here in a good understanding, or you can say that's why we're here in a bad understanding. Now, I think the way he said good and bad understanding is, he was referring to himself. I think what he means is, you could say that's why we're here, as in that's why we're such a good side, or you can say that's why we're here. People want us to sign another midfielder. I don't think he was saying, there's good and bad to it from my perspective, from his perspective. I think it was more sort of the perception of it. I mean, what it didn't come across in the written quotes where he turns to the guy next to him and the press officer and says, look, he wants to spend money, but he doesn't get to decide whether we spend money, nor do I, and I think he says, well, he wants to buy them more than I do, which is quite funny. Thankfully wasn't included in a lot of people's pieces, but I've heard him say it before. I've heard him say, not for one single minute have I had a problem with the policy. I signed up for this. I know, we all do it. I find it crazy sometimes when you see people saying he's just a yes man. Like, so okay, that's fine. Well, he's not probably, but so like, what you want? Someone who's going to rock the boat and not win trophies and not have Liverpool right at the top of the game. I think the bottom line is really with it all, and we'll see whether it pans out again this way, is that the majority of the decisions that they've made are justifiable because what's followed has been success. Or there was a lot of people last summer who said we've only bought Canate, that's a problem. Now it's getting referred back to, well, he only bought Canate last summer. Well, they nearly won everything by doing that. The season he won the league, they didn't buy anyone other than Elliott and Vandenberg. He won the league, and then all of a sudden the following summer it became they've let things slide. It's not always obvious at the time, or it's not always possible at the time. Sometimes it's only when things start to go wrong that you start picking back. And I see a lot of, it's not just, this isn't a Liverpool thing, this is just a football and just a human thing, that once things start to go wrong, you then move the history parts back and start saying, it's been signs of this for 2 years. That's been happening. He's always been that. He's always been rubbish. He's never been good enough. And sometimes
there's a lot of
you need to take a step and sort of say, actually, it's bad at the moment because of this, and this. Maybe that would help. But generally, it's been pretty good for the most part. And, that's because of the decisions that have been taken at the club by the manager, by the staff, by the footballing department.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's just the pseudo think pieces. And they're not think pieces because they're just tweets effectively, but it's like this, the revisionism of this is what Klopp's won at his time. Is that enough? Should he have done more? Blah 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 blah. And it always gets overlooked. Of like, Liverpool have just gone through a spell where they went through 30 years of trying everything in their power to win a league. they tried to get themselves above Manchester United again, to get themselves back to the top of the pile. They tried a handful of different managers, tactical approaches, spending big money on big names, spending money on up-and-coming talent, hitting upon what the hottest places to buy players from were, raising the youth players through. Managers. Yeah, you know, and all these things, and not one of them come even remotely as close, let alone actually to doing it. And it's those things of, when you're positive, you say 3 Champions League finals is a great, and a Europa League final. So you say 4 European finals in 7 years, and you go, blimey, plus 1 Champions League, League Cup, FA Cup, League title, Club World Cup, Super Cup, Charity Shield, and you go, well, that sounds like a good old haul for that. But when you're trying to say it in a bad light, it's lost in two. I saw one saying they lost in 2 finals, and they'd have lost if it was a better team than Spurs. And you know, they've only delivered X, Y, and Z. Yeah, it's
I'm look. I completely get the desire and the demand for, come on, like, just let's, because they're that close, isn't it? It's because it's 1 point in the league, and because it's the Champions League final, because, you know, whatever. But they are in a bad moment at this moment in time. I've tended to football speak there. Bad moments.
The group's in a bad moment.
They're in a bad run at this moment in time, but they should be all right. You know, they're not. You know, they're not this. They're fighting for 10th now, or, you know, the era's over. I saw ESPN put a tweet out yesterday where I looked at it and went, "Oh, come on, lad." You know, I actually unfollowed them on the back of it. It was the Jurgen's 7th year is always a bad one. I was like, well, his 7th year, he's won 2 trophies in his 7th year. You know, come on, let's be sensible about this. I think Liverpool will be okay. I don't know whether they'll win the league. They didn't win the league last year when they had the best squad they've ever had, and they lost 2 games in the whole of the year. But let's not forget that I had to remind myself as I was writing a piece, what's wrong with Liverpool. It was the first league defeat since December. You know, let's stop the overreaction a little bit and remember that. You know, that okay. I saw a great tweet from the guys next door about Redmen TV telling us how bad the start of the season's been. I was thinking, I laughed out loud. I thought, yeah, that's fair. But there's a lot of clubs looking around going, oh God, cry me a river, you know, like, about your problems. You've drawn a couple, have you, and lost one. You know, if you can beat Bournemouth 2-3-0 at the weekend, all of a sudden the world looks different. They might, you know, the Champions League draws at 5 o'clock today. Liverpool could be in with, you know, looking forward to some amazing European trips again, and back on that road. So yeah, there's still, you know, it's not all doom and gloom at Liverpool. It just feels like that when you lose at Old Trafford. Yeah, no, it does. More exacerbates absolutely everything. Hey, if you want the rest of that show, head over to redmenplus.com to get it in video or in podcast form. We had a heavy old chat around Naby Keita's future being linked to Dortmund, and whether a move to Leipzig could be on the cards, as well as some of the Manchester United fallout and more. That show is there each and every week on Redmen Plus. Hope to see it over there. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to continue the conversation, then head over to Redmen Plus, join as a club legend and get access to our Discord chat. It's got us in, and it's got loads of amazing like-minded Reds. There's a no knob policy in there, so where you won't have that on social media, you will have it over on the Redmen Plus Discord. It's full of sound people. Come and join us.